everything was coming into my mind. I was waking up in the morning and I had a new design in my mind. I had to draw it right away.
I'm very excited today with the interview I'm about to do with a jewelry designer. She's originally from Brazil, but she has moved to Italy almost 3 decades ago. She's a self-made businesswoman with a very inspiring story. She has been featured in several magazines around Europe and actually around the globe. She has a very unique style that when you look at her jewelry, there's a signature, it's different, it's unique, and there's always a story behind it. So I hope you enjoy. Hello, Sheila. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for inviting me, Anna. It's such a pleasure to be here with you.
Oh, that's great. I'm so excited about this interview. So, Sheila, you have a very interesting and inspiring life story. You left Brazil almost 3 decades ago to pursue your dream. And I know by experience what it takes to do this big change in life. So I'd like to start this interview with you talking a little bit about your story. How was that? How was that move? What made you decide to go to another country and completely change your life?
Okay, Anna. So I'm Sheila Cunha. I live in Milan since 25 years. And so I consider myself Milanese by adoption already. I'm a jewelry designer. Since I was a child, I was really fascinated about jewelry. And I thought it was the thing I would like to do in my future. In my childhood, we used to spend our holidays in our family farm, which was located in the state of Minas Gerais, in the southeast part of Brazil. Minas Gerais means general mines because it's a rural area and it's full with mines, with stones, with gems, quartz, and it's a very rich area in this sense. And I love to ride horses, and I was discovering the mysteries of this land. And every now and then I was overwhelmed because on the ground there were shining quartz by the sun, and I was looking at these crystals and I was thinking that one day I would make jewelry with them.
Wow, so since your childhood, you had that.
Yes, I had this dream. But then I grew up and life took a different course. And first of all, I moved to São Paulo, lived some years in São Paulo. And after, in 1990, I decided to come to Milan, to Europe. First, I went to London, stayed for a while, and then I came to Milan. Then in 2008, Italy was deeply affected by the global crisis.
Oh, yes.
And I was working as a graphic designer for a publisher here. And they decided to cut the working hours and the wages. But yet, I was not discouraged about the situation. I'm a person with very strong feelings all the time. I'm very passionate. And graphic design at that time had already lost its aura. And so I thought it was time for change, I wanted to create freely. I wanted no bosses, no 2Ds. My goal was the 3Ds. I thought it was the time to do what I had already dreamed of since I was a child.
So I guess the crisis was what you needed to give you that kick,
Exactly.
right? To really do what you love.
Exactly. I think it's crisis. It's opportunity if you manage to see these opportunities,
right,
which is not easy because it's easier to become what you are, even though you are not so happy.
Right.
Because to change is so difficult. It's a great effort, but I think it's worthwhile.
Yes, because in crisis we get overwhelmed with the problems and the challenges we are facing. So I really admire when I see people like you. So you use the crisis you saw opportunity during the crisis, which just few people are able to do that, right? That's
Yes,
amazing.
yes, exactly. I mean, I saw an opportunity and I saw that it was a breakthrough moment. Either
Right.
I would do that change at that moment or never. So I took the plunge into jewelry. I decided to study, obviously. So I went to the best school in Milan, jewelry school. The name is Scuola Orafan Borosiana, and started studying. And so I got into this completely new world, because it's so different, because metal is hard. And you start learning and you realize that you can melt the metal and you can bend, you can make forms. So it's a real interesting world.
Big transformation, right? You get the material, it's transformed
Exactly.
to something else.
And then I got acquainted with all these techniques,
Yes.
and started working in the beginning. Then, little by little, while I was learning, the ideas were coming into my mind, and everything was coming into my mind. I was waking up in the morning and I had a new design in my mind. I had to draw it right away, not to forget,
Wow.
even start making it, turn it to reality. It was a very creative moment, and I was feeling really pleased with all this new thing.
I think that's amazing because it looks like you were ready for the change. The
Exactly,
crisis came, but you are ready for that, right? You had
exactly,
everything in
exactly.
your mind. So when that happened, your creative process just started working and
Exactly. It
new
seems
ideas.
that I was ready for
Yes,
this change. And then I took the advantage, I took the plunge and started doing this thing.
that's
What
amazing.
It was interesting because since the early times that I was learning the techniques and started designing the pieces and everything, I had something in my mind that I was sure about. I knew that I wanted to make a very unusual jewelry. I
Oh,
didn't want just to make jewelry. I wanted something very special
yes.
because I never liked mass market products. I like different, unusual, unique, and I thought I was ready to create these pieces, and
Hmm.
they would be like this, very different ones.
Very good.
And even the materials, I was sure that I wanted to use different materials, not just gold. I
Hmm.
mean, I wanted to create freely, in all the senses, because
Yes.
not to be in prison,
Mm-hmm.
and
Exactly.
different materials, different stones, even uncut stones. So I go back to my memories
Yes.
and to the family farm and pick the quartz on
Uh-huh.
the ground and start
Yeah,
creating
exactly.
pieces.
Your style is so unique, so different. And before we go to the jewelry process and design, I'm just curious to know what made you move? What made you decide to move from Brazil to Europe?
Always crisis to make you make decisions.
Yeah, usually it's a
Uh,
combination, right, of dreams and frustrations and
yes, yes, it's everything together actually,
yeah.
because I wanted to improve my English for sure,
Okay.
and Italy because the family of my mother's part comes from Italy, and
Uh-huh.
so I wanted to learn the culture, to learn the language that I thought was beautiful,
So you had
and
a
I wanted.
strategy, dreams, and
Yes,
gonna
yes,
go
it
back to
was a
your family
combination
history.
of
Yeah.
both
Yeah.
actually. Yes,
And
yes.
design is Italy, right?
Exactly. And I always thought about Milan. I never thought to live in Rome or other places in Italy. It was just Milan.
Milan.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. And what was your biggest challenge that you faced moving to, a different country? Is there one specific thing
Yes,
that you
Anna.
can tell us?
There are so many challenges that I have to put them. It's a series of challenges.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm a very, very optimistic person. So I tend to forget all the challenges, all the obstacles. I tend to forget them. But
That's
actually, when I came to Europe, it was very hard. As you know, you moved to the US as
right.
well. It was hard for me to come to Europe, but because I met many stones on my way, because I came as an immigrant.
Right.
I came with few money. I had to start working right away. So
Yes.
it was everything together. And on top of that, when I came to Milan, I had to learn the language because I didn't speak Italian. So it was really tough. But anyway, I was pleased to come here and to start a new life and the experience you get when you move
Yeah.
countries. And it's so rich. I think it's
Right.
priceless.
Yes. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think the secret is always to focus on the positive, right? Because
exactly.
obstacles we'll have everywhere. And
Hmm.
but if we focus on the positive, we just use the obstacles to build our dreams, to help build our dreams, right? Instead of
Exactly.
stopping us.
Being of a family of 7 kids, when we were children, if we are not smart enough and quick enough, you wouldn't pick the best piece of pie. So
Yes, right. So you
I
learn from
learned I
very
learned
little.
very
You
early
had to
years.
fight
Yes,
to get your, yeah, to find your way there.
exactly.
Yeah, that's very nice. This question, you kind of answered it already, but just to know a little bit more, what inspires you? How do you find inspiration? Do you go to a park, you go to a quiet place, or you just sit in front of your computer and start designing? How is your creative process?
As formas da natureza sempre me inspiraram. Desde a infância, onde o tempo livre era realmente livre, na amplidão da fazenda do meu pai. Desde muito pequena, me perdia observando os detalhes da natureza. O desenho dos ramos em busca da luz, a mágica delicadeza das flores e a brincadeira de descobrir tesouros nos quartzos que despontavam da terra das Minas Gerais, Brasil. Os mesmos quartzos hoje, encastonados nas minhas joias. Em cada peça que crio, trago o desejo de exprimir essas sensações, para que a minha emoção possa ser a emoção de quem as veste. Um intento de revestir a vida com esses belos detalhes da memória. Me fascina trabalhar o metal, a fusão, soldas, fazendo emergir do material em bruto as doces imagens da minha infância. Passo horas em silêncio, imersa em cada peça, construindo a sua expressão. O prazer de pensar que elas trarão emoção a alguém é indescritível. Quando percebo este prazer nos olhos das pessoas, admirando o meu trabalho, eu sinto a alegria de ter atingido o meu objetivo.
Anna, I love nature. I love flowers.
Actually, I was gonna mention, I love your background there. Beautiful.
It's my tiny garden,
It's
in
very
front of my
Italian.
house. And I take care of my flowers, my plants. I love them. And I love parks. I love nature in general. So I think it's a natural inspiration. So I don't sit in front of the computer and design, never.
Mm-hmm.
It just comes to my mind, I don't force. It's a natural process.
Yes.
And there is a development. If I create one piece and then I see that piece in another way, and it will be another design, and it grows. The design grows,
Yes.
And yes, for instance, with the stone, I buy loads of stones, especially in Brazil, especially quartz, because I love them. And as I said, especially uncut ones. But when I buy them, I don't know where I will use them and what piece it will turn.
Yes.
But when I buy them, I put them in a cabinet. And then sometimes I pick some stones and put on the table where I work, And I just work and look at the stones, and they are there. Maybe they are there for 3-6 months, or There is no, they are there.
Yeah.
And then what happens? One day I wake up and I say, oh, this is the design for that stone. So it comes naturally, you know?
Oh,
I
yes.
don't decide that I will use. It
Yeah.
comes
You don't
as
wake
much.
up thinking I'm gonna use that stone today for no,
No,
you
no,
just
no, no, no.
start working.
I just buy because I know that they are gorgeous and they will
Yes.
turn a beautiful piece. But and then it ripes, you know,
Yeah.
in the
Yeah, I think you have a very, very unique style, which
Mhm.
is your signature, I think. If I see a piece, of yours, and I don't know that it's yours, I recognize it's Sheila Cunha's design because it's so unique. And
I think so.
is there someone or a specific brand that inspired you, that influenced your style?
Yes, Anna. It's always my childhood in the middle. I remember when I was a child, my auntie, her name is Dea, she used to sell these pieces from an artisan called Giulio Andreasa. And I loved that jewelry. And I think he inspired me a lot in the
Oh,
beginning. Not anymore, but it was my inspiration in the beginning, for
mhm.
sure. Because I think he was so romantic and he used many flowers and he was great.
Very delicate design. And
Exactly.
yeah, I think it's so fascinating. I saw you launched a no gender collection, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
what inspired you to do that? That's amazing.
So, Anna, after making so many pieces for women, I thought men deserved beautiful jewelry made from me.
Right.
So, so
Yes.
they deserved.
I agree.
So, so this time actually, I decided I had to decide to design a collection, a men's collection. So it was decided in advance. And I began designing and then I started making them. And so I was wearing, for instance, the rings, and I was looking at them. For instance, this one is from the no gender,
Okay.
and and I was wearing, and I thought, but it's not a man's jewelry. It's for both because it's beautiful for men, but it's beautiful for women as well. So it carried on and on. And then I thought, I can't call this a men's collection. It's for both, or better, it's for everyone, for all,
Yes.
right? Because we don't have to make
Yeah.
labels. It's not the
Right.
time of
Yes.
putting labels. So, because I had already sold jewelry, my pieces for men, even though they were not created for men.
Uh-huh.
And then I thought it's for everyone. So I can't call men's collection. So I decided to make to put this name, no gender. It's for all.
That's perfect. And it's very interesting to see how things happen, right? Because your original idea
Exactly.
was jewelry for men, but then from there, and that's I think how creation happens. It starts
Exactly.
here and ends up somewhere
Yeah,
else.
that's what I think. I think you don't have to be in a prison to create.
Right.
You just have to leave. The things happen. Things happen.
Let the flow, right, take
Let
you.
it flow. Let
Yeah.
it flow. Let's see where it
Yes.
takes you. You
Yes.
know, when
That's
you do
right.
something with passion, the things happen. You don't
Yeah.
have to worry about,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Yeah. So we have to talk about the COVID-19.
Oh,
So with very quick, I promise. With everything that's happening in the world due to the COVID-19 and also, the other events that are happening right now at the world, consumer behaviors are changing drastically. Consumers are becoming more conscious of how they spend their money, where they spend their money. So now they value more things that give them memory, good memory, or a good moment. And I think your products, your jewelry, falls exactly in that category because The way I see your jewelry, it's so unique. It's not something you buy to go for a party, for example, or for a specific event. I
Hmm.
believe your customers, they buy because your jewelry provide, it's something that you want to have for your life. You're going to enjoy that your whole life. It's not for a specific thing. What's your opinion? Am I right?
So, Anna, I think I agree with you. And I think with the pandemic, during the pandemic, it was crystal clear what was really valuable in our lives, which is family, friends, home, and yourself. And so I don't need so much
Right.
for my life, but I need valuable things,
Yeah.
things with a story behind, you know, not a mass market product. And I
Yeah.
need something valuable, something unusual, something special, you
Yeah,
know?
that's what I think about your jewelry. Every piece has a story behind. That's the
Hmm.
thing, right?
Exactly,
So the
exactly.
value it
I
brings.
think uh, I think you are right
Mhm.
because I mean I tell about myself when I think of buying something nowadays. I prefer to buy something very special.
Right.
I don't need much, but what I buy must be valuable,
Yeah.
valuable. This criterias, you
Yeah.
know.
Thinking about your life, you went to London first and then first England and then Italy. Do you regret the fact that you chose graphic design before, instead of going straight to jewelry design?
It's a good question, Anna. I think I don't regret it at all. Absolutely not. Because I mean, it's both of them are design, you
Right.
know, graphic design, jewelry design, and they are both interconnected
Sure.
because design works with aesthetics.
Yes.
So it helps me a lot, the fact that I worked with graphic design before.
Mhm.
And it helps me every day, because every day I have a graphic thing to do that if I was not able to do this, I had to pay someone to make for me.
Right.
And so this aesthetic part, and when you work with graphic design, you you start making an image bank in your mind, and it helps me a lot with
Yeah.
jewelry design. So I think it always
Compliments, right?
helps. Yes, yes, it's a
Compliments.
compliment. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah,
don't regret at all.
I
And I think after a certain point of your life, if you change profession, it rejuvenates,
yes.
because it's everything new. It's so many things to learn, and I think it's really positive. So I don't regret at all. I'm really pleased.
That's perfect. Yeah, I think reinvent is. I'm saying right now with this pandemic, reinvent is the key word for life now. We need to reinvent ourselves, right? And you just said you did that in 2008 when the economic crisis came, and now a lot of people are reinventing themselves because that's the
Exactly.
perfect time to do that.
Exactly.
So, how do you define yourself? Who is Sheila Cunha?
Who is Sheila Cunha?
Hard question.
Um, Assertive, absolutely. I'm bold, confident, determined, and I'm optimistic. I
Mm-hmm.
think. I think this. Just virtues.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. There's no weakness, nothing. That's right. We just said 2 minutes ago, right, that we need to focus on the positive. So you just did
Exactly,
that.
exactly.
That's perfect.
Ah.
So now the question that everybody will ask, where can
Mm.
we buy your jewelry? I know you just launched a new website, beautiful new website,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes,
So
yes.
do you sell online? How is
So
that?
I sell online, and it's a brand new website, and I think it's quite beautiful. I
Mm-hmm.
hope you think it too. And yes, it's an e-commerce, and I intend to sell basically through the website, but
Okay.
I still sell in some places, and but my goal is to focus on the website.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yes.
because it's my, let me tell you, it's my weakness, the commercial part.
But that's, that's it's always like that. If you
Yeah,
are a
yeah,
creative
yeah.
person, commercial is something that you don't like to spend
Yeah,
time,
that's
right?
right. That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That's true.
Hmm.
Yeah.
No, that's great. Yeah, I can't wait to check your new website.
Go there.
Very nice. And what are your plans for the future?
My plans for the future, I have some plans. As you know, about the pandemic, most of the things were canceled. So the events, it's difficult to plan something.
Yeah.
I have more or less planned things, but I'm not sure about. I had planned to take part to the jewelry week in Milan in October,
Mm-hmm.
but it was canceled already.
Oh, well,
Not because of the pandemic, because I think October is already far away, but I think they thought it wouldn't be so successful because few people would come here, so they prefer to cancel and
oh, I see. Yes.
postpone to the next year, you know.
Right. Yeah.
They are not wrong because
Yeah. Italy
I
was
don't blame them. It
hit
was
hard. Yeah.
so, yeah, it was bad, you
Really
know.
hard. Yes.
So it will take a while to recover, and
Mhm.
maybe it's better to wait until next year. So I have many plans, but they are plans for the moment. I
Yeah,
don't
I
have
think at this point
any
nobody can
project.
say because events are not confirmed yet, right?
No,
They're
no,
being
not
postponed.
yet.
So, but
Exactly.
usually you are in the jewelry shows spread out on
Yeah, 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 yeah,
several
yeah.
countries, and I guess your website will tell, right? Once you have
Exactly,
confirmation about
exactly.
events. Yeah, yeah. So, for a businesswoman successful like you are, I'd like
Mm.
to know what you consider the 5 keys to success.
First of all, Anna, passion. If you
Yes,
don't have passion, it's impossible to start anything without
I agree
passion, right?
100%. Yes,
Yeah, it's the first point.
number one.
Second point, I think it's assertiveness with a pinch of stubbornness, you
Hmm.
know?
Yes, that's
More or
fine.
less,
Is everything.
yes.
Yes,
Yeah. Third point, I think you never give up
yes,
because there are some days that you feel really you can't go ahead, so you have to be tough and say no, I will overcome this challenge,
yeah.
and so never give up no matter what.
Because the challenges are part of the process, right? It's part.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly,
you need them to grow.
exactly. Fourth, I think you must put the level of your choices very high in all the senses, you know.
Yeah.
The choice of suppliers, collaborators, of yourself, because we tend to be very demanding for the others and not for yourself.
Mm,
And so I think you have to aim for the best
yeah.
and for perfection that doesn't exist, but you have to aim for that.
Mm-hmm.
And the fifth, I think to be updated every day, updated with everything 360 degrees,
That's right.
updated with technology, with news, information, trends, and what's going on in the world. Because if you sleep, when we wake up, it's
That's
gone.
right.
So you are dead.
Things change so fast. So yeah, I agree completely. Like market trends, the trends are things are changing so drastically and so rapidly that
So
if we don't
rapidly.
follow them, we'll be behind.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
yeah, no,
yeah.
I love your 5 keys to success. That's perfect.
I
Very
hope
nice.
they
That's why
work.
you're successful. You have the right ones. So to finalize, I'd like to do a little game here that you are familiar with because I don't know if there's a word in English for this, but in Brazil, in Portuguese, is bate-bola, where I will tell you a word and you tell me in one word what that word represents to you.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So
I
life.
will try.
Okay.
Life.
Yes.
Challenge.
Family.
Family. Not one word, more than one word.
Mhm.
Let's say golden chain. Beautiful chain, but still a chain and made of gold. Okay.
Inspiration.
Inspiration is nature. Here.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
doesn't surprise me, that answer.
No.
Intuition. I love this
Intuition
one.
for me is awareness.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, if you are focused, you are aware, you get the intuition.
Yeah. Do
Right.
you listen to your, just breaking the game here a little bit, do you listen to your intuition?
Always.
It's something that you use a lot. Yeah.
The intuition is always right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you have to hear your intuition.
Right. And you need to trust, not judge, right? The problem is that
Exactly.
sometimes we judge it and then,
Exactly.
yeah.
Then you
So,
block it.
so
Yeah.
back to the game. Obstacles.
Obstacles. Opportunity to grow.
Yes.
Mm.
Dream.
I would say dreams. So many.
Future.
I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know.
Yes. You can
No
make
crystal
jewelry with
balls
the crystal, right?
available.
You can make a jewelry,
I
jewelry with the
can
crystal.
make a jewelry with the
Yes.
crystal ball, but I don't see anything.
Okay. Success.
Success is overcoming endless step backs.
And last one had to be art.
Art is nutrition for your soul.
Oh, beautiful. Yes.
Yeah, it's very important.
I love it. Yeah.
It's very important.
Wow, that's very nice. I love it.
I didn't follow the rules because I didn't use just one word. But anyway,
But that's fine. That's what, artists do. So that's what you are.
No
So that doesn't
reasons.
surprise me. You are completely out of the box, right? In your jewelry design, in everything you do. And so that's all fine.
Thank you.
No, that's very nice, Sheila. I love your story. You are a very good example of a person that goes after your dreams
Thank you
and
so much, Anna.
face the obstacles and find success because, like you said, you follow your passion. So what you do is beautiful.
Thank you so much, Anna. And as soon as we can fly overseas, I will visit you.
Yes, I'll wait for you
so
and I'll
beautiful.
visit you soon. I hope to.
Yes, you are very welcome.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for your time, Sheila. And I'll add your contact information on the description of this video. So if people want to check your website or get in contact with you, it's gonna be there.
Thank you so much, Anna.
Thank you. Bye bye, Sheila.
Bye bye. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.